Hold on, man. I don't know. It's so frustrating. I don't want to have to do a new. Okay, we're live. It's not showing me on studio, but let's rock and roll. Here we go. All right, we're live. What's going on, everybody? Thanks for joining Wednesday's live stream. It's the 9th of February. We're here with Bravo again as usual. What's up, Bravo?
What up?
What up? The Qs are here.
How are you, man?
I'm good, man. How are you doing?
Good, real good.
Good. Hey, Q's, good to see you guys. Hope you're doing good. Hope people can join us today. We got some good stuff. Bravo, what do you want to do, man? Do you want to cover kind of I have a series of stuff we can go over. You want to do that?
Of course, man. I'm always fascinated to hear what you've been up to.
All right. All right, well, I'm going to kind of set the stage here for kind of a big idea, like kind of like how I see this going, right? Like I've said it a few times in videos like this week and such, but first we'll take a look at equities. I want to show you the big picture on NASDAQ and Dow, and then we'll fly by dollar, and then we'll look at some Bitcoin overlays, and alts in relative strength, and then all this will help paint kind of this picture, right, for what we have, I think, in store for us in the next, I would say, 30 to 45 days or so. So I'm just watching S&P on the 1 hour, just kind of watching this range. We gapped up on the morning, we're up higher, but let's go back to daily. We called the 618 kiss a week ago. Dude, I don't remember that on the live stream, on the last week's stream. We said, hey, we're at the 618. I'm expecting this to cool off, and we sure enough did. Turned around today, so I don't know if we'll look at the bigger fractal, but I'm not sure if we just start up only from here, but we could. We'll have to break some fibs and such, but so that's S&P, and that's the daily, right? So I'll look at. I'm not sure if you can see that or not, but
hell yeah, I see it.
All right, XRP is making a new high. I set alerts on XRP and SHIB, and we'll take a look at those too. But that's
awesome.
good to see. So XRP is like 92 cents now, and moving up, doing good.
Here we go.
Yeah. So okay, so we know the S&P. We always keep an eye on equities because they're entirely correlated, and we see that even tick by tick, right? So keeping an eye on equities, we want to see like risk on, risk off on markets. And my theory basically is that you have this kind of equities bucket, and then once equities kind of fill up, as far as like the risk on environment or however we want to think about it, it fills up, and then things spill over into crypto, although they do move together. But we'll look at that. But anyways, if equities are not doing well or showing strength, then honestly, in my mind, the chances of Bitcoin doing well are zero, right? So for Bitcoin to do well, meaning crypto to do well, you need a at least sideways or at moving up kind of equities environment, right? So kind of this grand risk on, risk off thing. But anyways, okay, S&P doing well, 4580 right now. This is the NASDAQ weekly. Oh man, I'm gonna have to turn off these alarms. Alerts. I hate this happened last time. We're good. Okay. NASDAQ weekly, dude. See this old high in 2000, and we fell off. But then if you extend this the fib up to the 4236, we get to about 18,000 and 4236. So my grand theory is that we're going to have a blow off in all markets, and I did post a kind of a meme chart, whatever, but you see out there, you see Nancy Pelosi calling for Congress to not be able to own stock or whatever. So it just makes perfect sense. And we would blow off the markets, Congress gets out, and ushers, all the retail ushers, rushes back in, and then we get a rug pull, right? So I'm not sure in my mind what would make the Dow crash, and I'll show you the fractal, but what would make that happen? I don't know. But here we are, getting pretty close to the 4236 on NASDAQ, and this is Dow. The Dow. Here we go. I have the overlay from the 1920s on here, right? This is a 20-year fractal. right? Like you don't, I've never seen a
Yep.
20 plus year fractal before. So you have, even back to the
Right.
2000s, you have lobe, another lobe, and then you start climbing, after a dip, you start climbing up, and then you start going parabolic. In the 1920s, we had the same consolidation at the top before we vaulted higher for the final push, final blow off. I think that's
Mm-hmm.
what we're getting ready to spring out of, right? So for here, the next, in my grand theory is we blow off all markets. Bitcoin gets a retrace. Does that mean it makes all new all-time highs? I can't say that for sure, but I think we get a retrace. I think alts fire off or whatever they're gonna do, and then this is the time to get very defensive, especially when you're clipping through like a 4236 on the Dow, right?
Oh yeah.
So grand theory is we get blow-offs in markets, crypto comes back alive, um, things get really good for a brief time, and then things could get really bad for a long time. Okay, so there's kind of the setup. We looked at S&P, Nasdaq, Dow. This is I look at the dollar. It's not doing much of anything the last few days differently. So if we break this line, at least for short term, then I think we can have more rallies. But the next thing is I always look at the overlay. How is Bitcoin doing compared to the three indexes?
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, we're starting to climb up. You're seeing the Nasdaq, Dow, and
Yep.
S&P, right, going back up. Bitcoin's following off the bottom, and for me, the big question is what. This is a real strength chart, but what does this retrace look like? And we'll cover a couple things. But hey, this is the rel strength chart of as many alts as I can fit on a chart, and then back to the late January timeframe. But there you go, SLP at least for this time period, 85%. SLP.
I'm laughing just because you know why I'm laughing.
Yeah, it's smooth love potion. I mean, hey, it's
But
always
we were
the ones
talking
you don't
about that
expect.
just
Yeah.
before it took off, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we're gonna look at that because I think it was Jason in the Telegram, but yeah, they said it looks just like ICP, and I'm like, that's exactly what I was telling you this morning. I was like, dude, it's ICP, esque, right?
Yep.
But those are, I think you're seeing just nice kicks off the bottom, right? Like you're coming off the
Oh
bottom.
yeah.
We'll look at
Right.
the SLP chart, but so leaders, this is just alts versus Bitcoin leaders. Obviously SLP, Gala, KDA, Mana, XRP,
Yep.
and XRP, and then SHIB and Sand. But that's looking good. This is the I've got to get this ringing out of my head. This is the that fractal, right? So another piece of this big puzzle is the fractal that we've separated from, right?
Yep.
And so
Mhm.
in my mind, what comes next? I am expecting this is what I would call the retrace, right? So I'm expecting this retrace to happen, and we can measure on the fractal. Our fib was a 618, and this is from that 2018 bear market. I pull
Yep.
right, but do we? In some form or fashion, this to me will be an ABC, and I've covered this on a few videos, but I'm looking for clues as to what to expect, and I'm not sure, to be honest. Do we get a dip here, or do we come up here first and then climb out? I do want to see alt separation. So I'm in the process of looking for a lot of clues, but I'm not seeing like something that's obvious that's a tell. So I'll look for chart breakdowns and that sort of thing. But even on the way up, dude, you know me, I was like, hey, watch out for a 40 to 41k reversal. Well, we didn't get that, right? We stalled out for like a day, and then we continue higher. Now we're above this old range. We're above that 44.4 level, pushing through. We'll see how today closes, but I have two ideas I have two ideas, then I want to look at the alt separation. But I think yeah, here it is. Can you see that?
Yeah.
What I'm trying to do, and like for me and my plan, um, it might be tradable if we get something like really crazy, right? Say we get and there is a fractal pattern. I talk about it sometimes, but there's this other fractal that I look at that has a move something like this, where you have an say A goes, say we do vault straight up to 618, like then, and alts have to do really well too. But that's when I look for a deeper pullback, and it may be a quick one too. But to me, it would be like I'd need some things to be blowing off, and I want to show you what I'm thinking about as far as like XRP goes. Like if we get to a certain level, and then I see some breakdowns, I may think, like some stars have to align a little bit, and I know this isn't like really clear because I'm not really clear either. But if I see certain things soon enough, then I may take some action. Otherwise, I'm holding for the retrace, just expecting alts to finally separate. But I have two paths here. Red is like one idea. Maybe we get a spring. If we do get a near term spring, that maybe to the 0.5, maybe to 618, then a pullback to 236, maybe. And that's the risk here, right? The risk is that that it goes like that and you may miss it, right? So I'm gonna have to be pretty calculated. The other idea I have is more of a prolonged walk up, and this blue ABC would match that fractal pattern, right? Because like you go back to the fractal, well, we've already separated to the top side. We've already separated the top side. Do we get this or not? And that's what I'm trying to at least think through. But at least two ideas, right? There's infinite possibilities, but two ideas on a fractal walk up pattern up to this box area. I think that our retrace comes up into here, and maybe like you've done a lot of work, right, on equity charts that only make it back to 0.5, right?
Yeah, and I would say just yes, that's true. But I think in our particular case, I'd be pretty surprised if that was. I mean, we're almost there, right?
I know,
not almost, but we're getting there. We're rapidly coming up on this, and we've got no signs of an ABC coming in yet.
Right.
So based more on like the horizontal levels going up, I think 0.5 or even I could see a scenario where it gets up to that 618 and comes off of that, but the 0.5 is a really interesting spot for me, and also the 0.382. We're coming up on it. Like there's really a ceiling right there that we could very well just reject off. But yeah, I mean, it's like, yes, I have seen plenty that go to the 0.5 and reverse, but those aren't crypto charts. And just full disclosure, I do not think that's what's going to happen here at all.
Yep, I'm with you.
Unless we see like very soon we see a correction and Bitcoin looks like it doesn't have a ton of momentum, and the ABC starts to happen, and we get to the 0.5 and then we see a breakdown, right? Then we're out.
Yeah.
But I do not see that. That's
not
how I'm thinking this.
We just keep getting surprised to the upside here, right? Like, we had, so on the 2nd of February, and remember, we're like, we follow the fractal, the dip will be the 1st of February or whatever. And we got a dip, but then, like the spring on February 4th, the 11% day on Bitcoin, that was at least a surprise, a good surprise, but a surprise to me.
Yep.
That we broke through the trend line, whatever. Hey, a couple notables here on this. So you understand the ABC, whatever. We get back, I think, to this, in my mind, we get back to this box. Is it early May, late April, or is it sooner? I'm not sure. Time is even harder to predict, and that's one of the hardest things to get right. But I think in some point we get back here, a couple notables here, and then I want to show you a couple more things. But so look at this horizontal line right here, dude. Right? See that? See, this was the floor. This was the floor for this area, and yesterday's candle came up and tagged it, and that's 45.5. So 45.5 tag, and yeah, we're moving up today, and we're up 300 points dollars, but like we can still like try and make attempts to break and then get rejected. So
That's right.
you know. And then okay, and then the other thing I look at, you know, so you've got this floor we got to break through. If we can, you know, it brings in, and if I'm like just looking at horizontal lines, and maybe there's a line in here
Yep.
somewhere, maybe back to, I don't know, back to here, maybe it didn't really matter to here, but it whatever. I might look at an intermediate line here at 48, but like if we can break this with conviction, I think we can go here to 52. And
Yeah.
maybe that, right? So
Agreed.
maybe that's our A, right? So
And that's the
maybe,
0.5, I think, right?
yeah,
Ish.
let's put it back on because, yeah, maybe,
That's why that
yeah.
0.5 was so interesting to me, because if we
Mm-hmm.
blast through this local ceiling that we're at, like you say, with conviction, you may see a quick back test, but I think it could go all the way up. That 0.5 is just
It's
really
right there.
interesting to me. I
Yeah.
mean,
Or this kind of
like
this
maybe you wick a
area.
little bit above that. Yeah,
And these
right.
are, yeah, these are wicks, but maybe, you know, like there's your body. And so maybe we come up here and we wick through
Yep.
whatever, but like it's this area at
Mhm.
50. I'm going to be watching, we're going to all be watching very closely at 50,000,
Definitely.
51K. You know, the other thing that I would say that just looking at the chart to me is I start kind of zooming in, and although I'm not an Elliott wave guy, it's so subjective. To see, like, for example, like in my mind, I was going to draw this over here, but then this is lower, and I really need to blow this up if you can, so you can see it. But um, just print that, and then let me zoom in so you can see the chart better. But like now, I'm looking for
Mhm.
like if I were to be, if we're doing ABC, probably 5 waves in A, and if I can
Yep.
spot that clearly, then that's what I'm looking for. So the way I would draw this is that's 1, 2, 3 stops here somewhere. I don't know where, right? And then we get a 4,
Yep.
and maybe it's like that, and then maybe we do get a 5. So my
Yep.
thing about the A is I want to be able to see. Remember how we kept going back to, this is a month or two ago. We kept going back to, I can't find 5 waves in C. Remember
Yep.
that? When this was our
Mhm.
bottom, I'm like, I can't, I mean, like, I
Mhm.
can make a case, but it's not clear to me. So I want
It's
this
too
to,
choppy. Yeah,
right,
yeah.
I want
Too
this,
choppy.
I would want this to be clear to me. I would want to say,
Mhm.
I want 5 waves in A, and I want to be like, I can spot 5 waves. Like, I can get my dog to spot 5 waves, right? So that would be, well, I'm still doing 5, but like, yeah. So 5 waves would be my A, and a lot of times it's 5, 3, 5. So 5,
Right.
and then back here somewhere, I don't know, whatever. And then like, there we go. So it'd be 5 waves, 3 waves, 5 waves. But I cannot, going back to like, I can't find 5 waves in the C leg on the downside. I'm not able
Yep.
yet to find clearly, and this is daily, but I'm not clearly identifying 5 waves in my uptrend. So those are
Yep.
signs that maybe we run up here on the A leg to 51. Okay, let's look at one other thing real quick. This one. Nope. This one. Total 3. Okay. This is what I shared this actually in the video yesterday, I think, and then um, in the Telegram. So look at, let me zoom back out. I'm going to put this on the, let's do daily and see how it looks. This is an overlay between total 3, which is in blue, and which is total minus Bitcoin minus Ethereum. So it's really a good proxy for the altcoin market. And then red is just Bitcoin. So I'm looking for relative strength or performance from the alts. And let's go back. This is the 4 hour. Let's go back to. I want to take you back in time to the July move off the bottom. We came out and we saw Bitcoin lead, but then alts did separate as Bitcoin retraced. See that? That was interesting to me.
Yep.
I'm like, okay, right there
Mhm.
we saw separation. We did not see
Mhm.
separation until we got to this topping area. Then we saw some separation. Then we ran again, and they kind of ran together, if you will, and they kind of fell together. And we didn't get another period of separation until we got that summer fake out. This is another reason why a lot of people were faked out, including myself a little bit. But like, remember it was like up on no volume, but then alts were running. And this is when you had like, you know, CRV. I think CRV went
Mhm.
to $7, I think maybe here
Mhm.
in this low. But you had alts moving up stronger than Bitcoin. So you're like, maybe this is a retracement and whatever. My point is, so you saw nice period of separation there. a nice period of separation there. And when you guys are doing your charts, you can go even back further in time and look at other periods of separation. But we're just starting to see it, right? Like, not really seeing it yet. Not like this. But we are starting to see a gap. And I call it gappage, right? And I shared that with a Telegram. But I want to see, for me, I would expect, or I'm expecting, or let me just say this. This is another clue in the puzzle I'm trying to put together. Because I want to see, I'm looking at, whether it's Bitcoin dominance or alt separation. I want to see 5 waves in an A leg. I want to see how equities are doing, right? Like it's kind of a big sense of the market, but
Oh yeah.
I need to see these things. So we'll see. I would say, this is what would make me more confident in, like, say, taking action. So let me blast this, and then let's say Bitcoin runs up to a 51. I'm not sure where that is here on the chart, but let's say alts actually separate. And I want to show you, like, on the XRP chart, what I'm thinking. But like, if we get up here to say we get to 51K, Bitcoin starts breaking down on the chart. I get sell signals on my lower time frame, say it's even on the 4 hour or something, and I'm starting to roll it into a daily, right? I'm watching Bitcoin, we're seeing alts move up, then all of a sudden, right, in Bitcoin, I'm like, look, I get 5 waves, guys. And a breakdown, RSI is breaking down, prices are breaking down. Look, alts are way up here. Like, all right, I'm gonna feel, this is what I would want to see, to say I'm gonna step off here. Maybe on some positions, maybe, whatever. It depends on what they do. Say SHIB gets crazy and goes to 10,000, maybe not 20, maybe goes to 10. I'll take that, right? That would be huge for me. Take that and just wait and expect an ABC, and maybe it's not in and it goes up a little higher, whatever, right? And then you get a correction, and I think alts have never done better. So alts will fall back, and then I wait for strength again. You wait for the C leg, and then I re-enter right here, and then I ride that retracement. So that's my game plan.
Yep.
Make sense?
Sure.
Yeah.
Definitely.
That's my game plan, dude. If we can get nice separation, we can get an A. A's up here. It's obvious. I get 5 waves. I see breakdown. I'm taking. I'll take. Thank you, market.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you, market. And then I chill. This might be 2 to 3 weeks. I just wait. And then it's shopping time. And then I play the 618 correction. Retrace. Right. So
yeah, and I think you can play that even conservatively too. If we do get a move to, say, let's say Bitcoin goes up to the 0.5, and then it starts to break down, you can play that somewhat conservatively to make sure that you get the signal that it's going down for the B leg before you exit your positions. Like, if you're scared of getting out,
right,
and you don't have a chance to get back in, it's gonna like, when that B leg comes in, it should be significant, right? I mean, it's going to be a pretty significant retrace. At least it should be.
I think so. It depends.
And I don't think you have to really worry about getting out. I think the chart's going to tell you, like, hey, look, I think RSI is going to be down. I think the price is going to break. I think all these trends are going to line up for, this is the right move right now.
I think so. I think we're gonna know it when we get there. I mean, but look, but that comes back to, like, mindset, right? Like, that comes back to, like, and for everybody watching and people that are gonna watch the this unrecording, like, think back to, where was your mindset on OMG going to 20? There were a lot of people that were thinking, like, oh, I'm not gonna butt the targets, whatever. We don't have to go there. But you know what I'm saying, right? Like, you got to start pulling the trigger here, guys. This market doesn't pay you. Like, you've got to start, like, okay, all right, I'm going to do this. And let's go to, I want to show you what I'm thinking, like, especially for my XRP position, right? So, like I commented, like, if SHIB goes to 10,000 or whatever, if it goes to 9, the old all-time high, like, I'm gonna preserve that. Thank you. And just sideline that, and then let's look to grow it in other ways. But yeah, back to your point. Exactly, dude. What I'm looking for is, I want to see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or something, right? It doesn't exactly that. I'm not going to be trying to peg a top. I'm going to be looking for a breakdown. And on my system, right, it's break and break. So I'm going to be looking like, guys, we just broke. Like, in real time, I'm watching crude oil and I'm sharing it with friends on Twitter, I'm looking for a crude short. I'm just patiently waiting. I did a fractal deal. I tweeted it out. I'm like, guys, when this breaks and it looks like this is your short signal. I think we're gonna have clarity too on Bitcoin.
Yeah,
I'm expecting it. I don't. It's
definitely.
not gonna sneak up and surprise us because we watch this thing 24 hours a day and even down to the 5 minute. Right? Like, if we get a 1
I think
hour
the
sell
only
signal,
thing that it could sneak,
yeah,
dude, the only way it's sneaking up on us is on the way up. And
yeah,
that's not even sneaking up. That's just, hey, where's this thing going to slow down?
right. That's
Do we have a
because
ton of
we're
momentum or not? Like,
mhm.
hard to predict the bull action here.
Right, because like exactly, and that's because it's only done better than we thought, right? And we're like, oh man, wow,
Yep.
11% day. I was expecting down like a double bottom here. Didn't get the double
Yep.
bottom,
That's right.
but we'll be watching,
Mhm.
and when we get this a top, and when it breaks down, and I know that whatever, so there's gonna be quite a there'll be some to it, right? I'll be like, okay, guys, I can see we're at 51K. And this is 5 waves. Look, this is 5 waves, and we got a chart breakdown. For me, this is short signal. Look at alts, like, and we'll look at XRP in a second. But alts are up here. They've separated. Okay, I'm gonna take this. I want to sideline some or all or whatever, and I'm expecting now that we start to be. So I think we're gonna get there too. But if we don't, it's more of a shallow thing. I don't know. We have to trade the chart that we have, and that's all you can do. Right, man?
I think that's true. And I think seeing these alts come off the bottom like they are, some like SLP over 50%, and some of the other ones that have moved, I think it's a really strong indication that that this local bottom is in. But
Mhm.
I do not trust Bitcoin either. I do not trust Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Yes, we've separated from the fractal, and perhaps we're just going to print something new. Obviously, we've separated from the fractal. But what happens if it decides that we're not sure if 41 was the bottom? So let's go look at that again, or whatever it was.
Exactly. There
right?
is
Like,
there is a chance. Like we could always still come back down here and get surprised more on the downside this time. But like, yes, there's always the chance that you just drop and you do find kind of where's that fractal? Say we
not 41, like, 31.
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm with you. So say like,
yeah, right.
Even though we've separated and it gives a lot of hope, like, oh, we're just going up only. Well, what if we've tomorrow flashed down and like, oh, well, there's our fractal pattern. Now it must be up only.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So we're gonna have to play this day by day, chart, candle by candle, until we get there. I'm just painting. If we do get up here fully separated, I can count 5 waves. We get breakdown. Alts have started to separate. Like that for me is a good place because I would like to, if possible, trade a larger ABC. I don't need to though. I'm fine just sitting here and waiting for a retrace and alts, for some nice separation. Hey, look, Bitcoin's up 600 on the day. It's moving on the hourly.
I know.
Nice.
Judging by what it's doing right now, I think the probability is that we're not going to double bottom to that 32 area again. But like, I'm certainly not out here predicting that. But I just think right now the momentum shows to me that bulls are fairly strong.
Yeah,
we're moving that way.
We have equities is high on the day. Let's look at like what equities are doing in the moment. Not a whole lot yet.
I'll be really interested to see if. Yeah. I really want to see if the S&P breaks through that 618, man. I think that's telling because that shows a lot of momentum to me in the market.
Yeah, we're nestled in. So equities classically are 618 more so. Like crypto just moves, like
right.
That's why you have a lot more 702s in crypto. But like classically 618 in equities is a lot more of a standard like floor ceiling. So like we got rejected. Now we're regrouping, building strength, and we gapped up on the day, which was strength signal. And then now we're nestled up right under the 618. We break through here, and I think we get our blow off. I think we get a higher A in the Bitcoin price. And not to say this moves straight up either, because let's zoom in on this Dow fractal, right? This wasn't just straight up only either. And you can go back and look at the 1920s data, but there's chop here too. And it popped, and then it ranged sideways and finally moved up. But it's an interesting time in the markets for sure, and I hate saying that because I hate hearing that. But it's true because it's like, right? I hate when people say this is a critical time for Bitcoin, and like they always say that, right? Oh, we're at a critical place. Like, what are you saying? Like, like it's all the other days aren't critical, but like, yeah. So that's that. Let's look at I keep talking about XRP. So let's look at that. and I'm jingling in the ears. Some targets alarms are going off. So this is, we broke. Let's go to the hourly. I think we just didn't hold on this candle. Yeah, we just wicked it. So, nice to
Oh
see
yeah.
that. Just we're keep, pressing up. What I would do here on lower time frames, and I did this on SHIB, but this is what I always do. Like if we start flag, like this to me is like, okay, we're gonna either start flagging, or I'm not sure what's going on, but as soon as I see this bounce, I'm like, okay, this could be either maybe a flag or a continuation pattern, or we'll see what happens. But that's why I said to the group yesterday or day before, I was like, guys, what do you think about the chances that we don't actually get a head and shoulders on Bitcoin, but we get
Mhm.
more of a flag, or because even the inverse head and shoulders idea is there's no, it's not a sure thing. It's just ideas, right? So, anyways, nice to see. So this is what I do on the lower time frame is I'll always paint my fib and say, okay, once we kind of get through this upper, we break through fibs, and you can see here we didn't even clear. We tried to push and held back to the 0.5, and then now we're pushing again, but we're breaking fibs, and
Yep.
so it's good to see on a lower time frame like XRP be above 702. That usually means you continue. So here's kind of my idea, dude. So this would be a scenario that I would be looking for to take noticeable action for myself. Is
All right.
let's say, and there are like I'm not gonna get into it, but let's just say this plays out. Oh, I won't get into the structure theory on XRP, but let's say what happens is equities start blowing off, Bitcoin runs to its 51 on an A area, and alts start separating. I think what you're going to see is a push, say on XRP, above this level. So what I would expect is something like a move up here to maybe $1.50. Something like $1.40, $1.50, right? So this was in my mind, like I check boxes, right? So if all this plays out, equities are blowing off, Bitcoin's moving, alts separate. If then also XRP goes above this level, and I start seeing like breakdown of Bitcoin, whatever, that's for me is like, boom, I'm out. Thank you, XRP at $1.40-ish, whatever. And then I'll pick you back up, maybe down here somewhere, right? And, maybe it's $1, whatever, I don't know. But somewhere back in here to come, because a lot of times what you have to do when you break these older levels is you come back and you retest these fibs, right? Like the fib levels in here.
Yep.
So you come up here, you make a new high, then you come back here, maybe it's a 618, and then you're back on. So we look at the fib, and I believe XRP has this potential, but like then I would be like, I'd take off, I got my XRP down here somewhere. I'm like, okay, that's a good trade for me. Now I expect this B leg to come in, and then I do want to get it back in XRP. So then I'd be looking at it here, and honestly, if we get, and this is now in the C leg, if in the C leg we get further separation of alts and things get even crazier with liquidity moving from the majors to the minors, I think XRP has potential to run these fibs, right? So like 4236, well, this is let me move this back up so you can see it.
Yeah, that's the small one. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So here to here ish, it's pretty close enough.
Yep.
4236 is, that's why I keep saying $7 to $10. So 4236 is at 675. So like anything above here, I'm great with, right? So if we, XRP runs, and I know people on YouTube say set 37,000, whatever, but for me, this is a chart trade. And we get up here and making a C leg, alt separate. So I'd like to also play something in this area. Obviously, eyes on Bitcoin because that's going to govern everything. But like pick up on the start of the C leg. If XRP is down here, I'd like to get it back down here for a potential ride. If everything goes that way, for potential ride up the fib ladder, right?
Yeah, and that's a good strategy too, man, because that's actually, you're not running that fib off of the 2018 high. You're running that off from the spring.
Right.
If you run fibs off the 2018 high, it goes quite a bit higher. I think the 4236 maybe like $13. But you know exactly what? The smart thing to do is to start selling out, layering out at $6, $7, $8. If we're
Mhm.
actually getting a rocket ride,
Yeah,
it's time to start selling when you get up into those areas, because you, more than anything, you need an exit strategy. You got to make sure you can get out.
I totally agree. That's why we'll be watching like daily and everything else. But like if we start breaking field levels up here like this did, like you got to
Yep.
start. Okay, I'm gonna take half off at, you know,
Oh yeah,
or I'll take a quarter off at 7,
dude.
a quarter off at 8, quarter off
Yep.
at 9, quarter off at 10, and then if
Right.
it runs to
If you
13,
get to, if
I'm
you have a
cool.
position, dude, if you have a position left at 13, in my opinion, it should be like the last 10 to
Yeah,
15%
the
of your
last 10
stack.
exactly.
That's it.
So that's like
Yep.
my last tranche will be gone at, you
Yep.
know, this is why it's 13 exactly, Bravo, because
There you go.
that's 13 is the 423, 13 and a half is the 4236 from the prior market cycle. So that's why I start at 7. That's pretty low, honestly. You know, like 7 to 13 is a big range for something that's 90 cents.
Yeah, but when,
But I'm very
dude,
happy. I'm also
if you
very
if you
happy at
bought in,
$7.
if you layered in at like 75 cents, like
Yeah,
that's a hell of a great trade.
like I'm down here. I'm going to be, you know, locking in some
Yeah.
emotions that I can keep with me forever, and dollars,
That's right. That's
and
true.
dollars that I
Yeah,
can keep forever.
that's true.
Hey, how's that work
That's
out?
right.
Right. So
Yep.
that's the game plan, man. But that's what I see in XRP, and so hopefully that was clear enough to like how this whole thing could work. Is, you know, in a, you know, in an A leg, what that looks like, what a B leg trade might look like if we get a deep enough cut, and then what it might look like in a C leg is we might start blowing off, and you might start having, you might have some things get crazy.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Hold on, my dog is begging. Hey.
I'll tell you this too, man. You've seen, I showed you a chart last week, week before, it doesn't matter. It was something in equities. I can't remember which one it was, but there is also a scenario where this particular topping structure that we're in Bitcoin right now retraces straight to the 702 with almost no interruption. Like it was a weekly chart that I sent you, and it's all green candles all the way to the 702 with, and then if you go back on a lower time frame, maybe daily or 4, you can see there's a very small B leg, but it goes
Yeah,
right
I
to the
remember that.
702, and then
Mm-hmm.
then it cooks off. Like you can't. I mean, I think more than anything,
Is that the one that was like?
we're looking at the chart,
Yeah, exactly.
right? Like we're just going to pay attention to the chart. Like that's it.
We have to.
We
do
can
what the
predict all we
charts-
want, but
we do what the charts indicate,
Yeah.
right? Was that, dude? Was that
That's
the
right.
one that was? I'll kind of paint it with a brush. Was that the one that was basically, off the bottom, but sort of had a fade and then like a little blip, and then that was that the one that you showed me?
it blipped on the daily, but on the weekly, yeah, exactly. The weekly is just kind of like a little curve, and then like touch
Yeah.
the 702 and it's
That's-
gone. But
that's
it's
the
all
one.
green. The whole thing is green.
Yeah, there wasn't a very. I mean, like you had a B leg, but it wasn't. I remember that. I remember thinking like, that's the risk. That's the risk.
It might have been
of a
the
step off
size
here.
of, yeah, it was probably the size of one fib level, like 618 to 702. Maybe that was it. It was not significant.
Exactly. Yeah. Disradio's here. Or Disrado. Is it Disrado? Disrado. I always said Disradio. Thanks for joining us. Yeah, we'll definitely talk about Glimmer. Let's do that.
What
because
up?
I have my eye on some Glimmer. I'm just being patient. I hope I didn't miss it, but if I did, whatever. I'm not going to FOMO in.
Dude, let's look at SLP too, because
Yes.
SLP is interesting.
It's always fun to look at something that's a 50% that you got in and I didn't.
Let's look at that and give me a pat on the back.
Yeah, all right, let's do that because we are.
It's just it's a good one to look at.
I'm wondering because I keep getting alerts. Yeah, let's look at SLP. Then we're gonna look at Glimmer.
Yep.
This is SLP daily. Fix this real quick. SLP daily. You are seeing a nice move off the bottom with decent volume. Look at the RSI though; it's cooked at 89 on the daily, which isn't crazy high, but it's up there. But again, like I've said a million times, and I keep saying, is that just like any other chart, just because the RSI is up doesn't mean this is a top, right? You can start doing this with your RSI, and you do that, and it's just, you know, your price will keep moving up. It's just on less strength. So relatively, and that's what RSI stands for, is relative strength. Relative to its prior candles. Yes, relative to its prior candles, SLP is a lot stronger than it's been, right? So obviously your RSI is going to be cooked. But it's just one of those pieces to the puzzle. But yeah, so SLP off the bottom. Congratulations, Bravo, by the way, 55% up on the day. That's great. It's great. I think it's awesome.
Yeah, just took a flyer.
SLP off the bottom. It's like a 200% off the bottom. XRP at 90 cents. I hope SHIB can break 3,500. That would be fun again to see it if it can move. But I look at the fib levels here on SLP, and I think I talked about this in yesterday's video, but I just did, and I told you this earlier today, but I just did it was 18x to this one. And you're like, well, let's look at the fib. So this is what I like about charts like this. And yes, it does also remind me of ICP off the bottom. I love buying things that look bottoming, especially when you get RSI breaking in from the bottom. Like that to me is a beautiful signal. This is daily, so we can do this. Yep. I break that, and that. Like, see, and this is why I do like dynamic trend lines or angled lines, is because like you see them honored a lot. You know, we rejected here, so now I can draw a line from here to here, and I extend it to the right. And look, the RSI did come up and kiss and fell off. So these are in my mind valid. So this is a 3-prong line, 3-point line. Touch, touch, touch. Came off and we broke it. So right there, dude. Honestly, your signal was on, if you're watching that close, I mean, let's just do a replay. Let's look at this this is daily, but let's look at this on a replay, right? Because I want to see what RSI, look at that. You're touching, okay.
Wow.
Yeah. So I want to see, when did you get a signal to long SLP? Where are my controls? Here we go. And this might, I'm going to slow it down just a little bit. 1 tick a second. Okay. So you got rejected, and then see, you break it here. But okay, boom. Your signal was on this first green candle. So your long signal off the break, and you could have drawn a line in here, break, break. Your long signal was this green candle. It was the first green candle. Your RSI was already up at 60 from this move because it was such a strong relative move.
Oh.
But yeah, your signal on SLP was this first candle. And let's say that you got in at half body, or say you waited till you cleared this old wick high. So, okay, I break the wick high, I'm in. And granted, whatever, you can fall back, but that's 140%. That's a great move. So 100%, 140%.
It's a great trade.
Yeah. Like, before we leave SLP, let's look at what you were talking about, is if we get crazy, and I don't know, but I've seen some of this, we've seen this happen before, and no one's promising anything here, but if we start getting crazy, and granted, I do think you need to go through 1 through 5, but go back in 2017 when things got crazy, when liquidity was just flooding in, you got small cap coins popping off, going nuts. If this...
Oh, go look at like NEM or some of the other ones that just had unreal moves.
Yeah,
unreal.
Exactly.
Yeah.
See a coin rings a bell. You know, like Vertcoin, Digibyte, whatever. Things were just going straight.
NEM was massive, dude. I know that one. That chart's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah. So let's just pretend, for example, like this does get crazy, even from right here. That's a 60x from current. So 60x.
Yep.
So
and this is an interesting coin too, because it's listed on big exchanges, including Gemini.
And Coinbase.
Not like this is like obscure and you have to dig around MetaMask. Like this thing, there are on ramps to get this coin easily if it starts moving up and people want to get involved. Like this thing could FOMO in 2 seconds.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, like that's what happens, right? Is like things start running. Like I expected maybe that would happen with SHIB, but like things start running and people take note. Like, oh, is LRC going again? Is SHIB going again? Do we need to get in? You know, you have, what I would say is like, yes, you're up 200% from the bottom. However, you have volume coming in. Volume is on a ramp. You have strong back-to-back days. You're off the bottom. But you have, what I keep going back to is intrinsic chart potential, right? This isn't, we looked at T-Fuel this week. Like T-Fuel is up, it hit 25 on its fib in the chart. This is totally different than that. This is not up there hoping for more up. This is coming off bottom. Now the risk profile is different, right? So the risk profile on something like this versus an established project, like a T-Fuel or something else, it's different. So would I go all in SLP? Would I go all in Glimmer? Would I go all in, even ICP. No, that's why we have portfolios and they're balanced, hopefully. But yeah, I definitely like a position here. If you're gun to my head, if you said choose one, you're buying T Fuel or you're buying SLP, I'm SLP all day. That's it. Because I buy charts like this.
Yeah.
That's why I went into ICP.
Right.
Granted, it dipped further and whatever, but like I love the intrinsic chart potential that we have here, and it goes, honestly, believe it or not, it goes for Akita too. The intrinsic chart potential within Akita, and we've looked at it. This was like when Jedi Oshi just started going. We were looking at these charts. Akita has intrinsic. I think it was 8x to old all-time high on Akita. That's forever ago. But I want a chart that has chart that I can get fibs into. I like that. Honestly, I like that more than something's way up high and I'm expecting it to keep moving up higher. So, but again, I also do think that if we get an ABC and alt separate, and then so a lot of things, right? A lot of ifs. If it was a Bitcoin top, if we get a retrace, if we get an alt ABC, if we get alt separate, I think everything's just going to go, or everything's going to start going. Make sense?
Yeah. Rising tide, right? Yeah.
You're going to see Litecoin go nuts. You're going to see, I mean, like maybe it goes back to all-time high or something. Like everything's going to start going, because you're not going to stop. It's, rising tide lifts all ships, right? So, but you're also going to see crazy stuff. Like SLP goes
definitely,
and maybe it's golden zone, but golden zone is a 30x, and you're gonna have like
the massive move.
These like, look, I put $1,000 in SLP and it's 50 now. Like you can go buy a, I guess you can buy a Honda Civic nowadays, but like go buy a car, whatever. Or
that's right, man.
Whatever,
that's
sell
right.
it and just
that's right.
Just enjoy it. Right?
Sure.
That's what I think is coming our way, is like an opportunity for us to actually take a side step from the market and actually be like, okay, we're going to take this win and then figure it out. And that's SLP. Let's look at Glimmer because I keep my eyes on it. I'm just looking at the range here. I haven't checked. So Glimmer's at 589. It's not moving that hard. This is daily. Let's look at, I'm going to do, hold on, I'm going to get this out of the way. I always look at like, I don't know, lower time frame. Let's look at 4 hour on Glimmer. So range sideways off the bottom. It teased us here with a 4 hour candle on the 4th of 17%. That was a nice move. And one of the guys in our group, he did buy this. It was it was lower in here. It was a really nice setup where you kind of broke out and then you came back and retested the top. But yeah, that's the thing. Like I wanted sub 6 Glimmer. We've got it right here. I might just pull the trigger, honestly. I don't want to be just sitting here waiting on like $5 Glimmer and not get it. So it's hard to say because if it just depends what Bitcoin does, honestly. If Bitcoin keeps going, I think the potential for Glimmer to move up is higher. But if it doesn't, then I think you can get 5. So maybe let's go half. Maybe I'll go half today, and I was going to wait for this week. Yeah. And we're going sideways. That's cool. I haven't missed anything yet. But I just wanted a position. But then I was driving last night thinking about this, right? So check this out. I like Glimmer for the long term. This is what I came up with. I like Glimmer because I think it has long-term great potential. But if I think this market lasts until maybe May and I'm out, what can Glimmer do? Right? That was my self-talk last night. Right? I'm like,
all right, I like it.
Right? Like, because remember, we did have projects, and if I'm right, it was Cardano was one. This has been, I'm going deep dive into memory bank here, but there were projects that came out. Oh, XLM was one. It came out in 2018, never had a chance to run. Okay. So I was remembering those kind of scenarios or that kind of setup, and just thinking like, I like Glimmer, and I'll probably get a position. It's not going to be huge, but like I'm going to take a position and like get what you can get theory, right, for an ABC retrace on Bitcoin. And so like, I don't know what this thing can do. It's too new. It just came out like not even a month ago. And here we are, but I know it's down, and I know it has long-term potential. So probably what I'll do is get a position this week and then play it like everything else. If we get an early run and something crazy happens, that's an opportunity to take action. But otherwise, this one probably just gets held, maybe to a retrace. But I'm not holding anything past that. Make sense? Like, so that means like even whatever Glimmer can do between now and then, you know, if in a retrace, say it makes this old high point over here, that's going to have to be good enough. Make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So like,
Totally.
but again, like, dude, from current levels to this old wick high, that's a 2 point something X.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. You grabbed 2 something X and took it because you took a chance, because the thing is, you're like, what if Glimmer, if we get all the favorable conditions that are required for alts to do really well, and in my mind, it's somewhere between, I don't know why, but for some reason, in my mind, I'm thinking it's somewhere between a little bit better than April, May, but not quite 2017. Does that make sense? Like, for some reason, I'm like, I'm not expecting 2018 crazy. You know, if we get it, that's awesome. But I'm also thinking, I think, especially if it's a cycle top on Bitcoin and that we do get a bigger push, then I think that we could do better on alts comparatively to April, May. So, but if all that plays out, I don't know what Glimmer can do, but I like the long-term thesis on the idea. I just wanted to get a position. So for me, I just think back and I'm like, I just don't want to be in a position where I'm like, I watched it, I heard about it forever, it finally came out, I was asking a lot of people, has it come out yet? It came out, watched it drop back, watched it hit $5, and I did nothing. You know, I've had a couple of those stories where you just kind of watched it and then you're like, no, I missed it, everything, and I was watching the whole time. So this time I'm just going to take a position and then you can get what you can get. That's my plan.
Yeah.
I like it here. I like it here sub 6. You know, I don't want to be too greedy. 5, 6, somewhere in there. You know, I like it. But let me show you, and I know we don't have, this is almost an hour, and I know both of us have to kind of run, but are you ready for my grand thesis? Another.
Man, I can't wait.
So much today. Welcome to class,
I don't
guys.
think, do we have another hour? We might need some time.
Okay, ready? So here's what I've done. If you go to TradingView and you pull up Brave New Coin Index, BLX, Brave New Coin Index gives you all the data. And you don't have to go to charts.cointrader.pro, although you can. So I pulled this up. Okay, watch this. So what if this plays out? I'm not saying this is going to happen. I just painted this picture because it's a fractal match from the last cycle. Okay, let me walk you through it real quick. The 2013 top to the 2017 top was 210 weeks. Okay, the 2017 top to the 2021 top was also it was 204 weeks. So very similar in time. Okay, then I said, okay, just for fun, I'm going to capture the data from 2017 to 2021 and I'm just going to print it. And I'll just drop it here. But where did I stretch it back to? Right? This is the thing about, like, well, how far did you pull it back there, Rambo? Well, what I did, this is really simple. What I said was, basically, if this is cycle top, that we are going to pull back to the previous cycle's fib level. I think, no, sorry. Sorry. I thought that's what I thought, but no, 84% down. See that? So I said, I'm going to stretch this to make it the same percent. For some reason, I thought it was the same fib, but it wasn't. So I said, okay, we moved up here to 2017 top, finally broke down and got an 84% correction. If this repeats, and there's a lot of reasons fundamentally, etc., why it shouldn't, whatever, I get all that, but I'm just doing work on charts, right? Like, well, Fidelity said this, whatever, like, and again, don't forget, we trade on margin. We don't trade on what Fidelity says about it, right? It gets traded on margin. So this, let's just, bear with me. I'm going to layer some things on again. If equities blow off and Dow prints that fractal and we get another crash in the market, like, I think you can expect this, or deeper, right? Like, if Dow crashes like that,
definitely,
until Bitcoin becomes like a replacement, whatever, then I think, it can roll hard. But like, as long as it's coupled in the market, and it is, then, I think this is possible. So I'm painting this whole theory, but all I did again was I copied the fractal and I pasted it here on the top, dropped it 84%. And so my idea and what I wanted to point out was, let's just say this happens, right? So we get an alt run, ABC, whatever, it does happen, and the time holds, right? I have the time the same, 210, 204, 210. So we get another cycle of equal length of time, and so the top will be out 210 bars from the top. But this dude right here, this will be a period of maximum opportunity for us. We're out of here somewhere, right in here, and this is what I got to thinking about last night. Dude, get your glimmer here for the long term. This is where you buy the glimmer that you missed. If you missed Cardano 2 cents, you missed Solana at 2 cents, you missed whatever, right? This is going to be your next opportunity. And when is that? It's not until March of 2023. So,
yeah.
Right. So again, this does have a lot of if statements in it. But if we get a crash in equities, I think you can expect a crash in Bitcoin. If this pulls back to say 10 or 12,000, Bitcoin could pull back to like these old levels. And here it would, be a shock. But this would be a period in my mind of maximum opportunity. So this is when I come back in and I'm loading the boat on the glimmers. Whatever. I would probably get core positions in Ethereum and Polkadot, like the big L ones, right? Like Polkadot, get some Bitcoin, probably Solana. Yeah, absolutely. Solana, AVAX, some of the strong movers back here become like the primaries up here. I would forget it, like totally forget about Litecoin, all that crap, like Ethereum Classic, whatever. Like we're on to the next generation, right? In my mind, whatever. Litecoin might be, $1 by here, but like I'll be focusing on Solana, AVAX, the prior period movers, and that's when I get into Glimmer. So that's what I was just thinking about last night. Was if this thing repeats, there's a lot of ifs, obviously, right? But if this thing repeats and we get like basement floor level prices again on an 84% pullback, that would be for me. I'd say, okay, guys, let's go shopping right here in a big way for like core positions. We're entirely out of the market. So what does this look like? Say we're out of the market in March, April, say April. So you wait 8 months. You go short equities or something, right? Or just don't do anything with your investments. Just sideline. Just wait. That's what I'm doing.
I'll tell you this. If you get if the Dow does what that fractal shows it might, and does an 80 or 90% correction, do you know how many people are going to want to put their money into crypto? I mean, maybe one or two. It'll be you and I. Like the prices are going to be so low. You could see Bitcoin like at $5,000, sub $5,000, $2,000.
Yeah.
I mean, it could get really depressed because no one's going to be putting money into crypto. No one's going to be speculating when their entire portfolio has been just decimated.
I mean, no one's going to even want to buy like Amazon stock, right? Is what you're saying, right?
No, so nothing. Nothing.
You want to buy Solana.
Who's going to want? They're not going to have the money.
Right.
Right.
I know.
Yeah. Like let's get it. Let's go speculate with a bunch of extra, discretionary income. Nobody's going to have it.
Crypto? No, dude. If Dow comes in, granted, this is a long whatever. Like this goes out in the 20s to 27.
Sure.
But if you do get an epic crash, I don't know. Like I talk to friends and family. I'm like, I don't know what would cause something like this. I mean, I don't know. It'd have to be a major event, right? And like, I don't want to get fundamentally because I just want to stick with charts. But like, no one's going to be buying like, smooth love potion down here at, at a Dow
or on the way down
crash or on the way down. Everybody's be like,
no way.
Like I'm out.
No way.
But that's when we're going to be watching. But I think our playbook, our plan for this kind of thing, like anyways, that's my plan is out about here on a retrace, right? If we get alts to cook up and do well, and then I wait. I'll wait for 85%. Yeah. So Alex says there are reports that Russia is going to start recognizing cryptocurrency as legal currencies. You're exactly right. Russia said they're going to recognize crypto or Bitcoin. I think it was crypto as legal currencies. Russia's doing it,
That'd be
guys.
handy.
Yeah, and but again, yes, that would that would open a lot of doors, and I think that would help us spring off the
Dude.
bottom here. But it doesn't
Yes.
mean, even though it's a currency, doesn't mean it can't be volatile, right? So that would be my only word of caution, because I played, or I lived that game my entire life for almost 5 years here in the crypto market, is thinking that fundamental news will drive price. Like, well, so and so they're
Yeah.
going to launch an ETF. I think we got the ETF on the backside of the run, right? And it was like, but that's going to help us to come out of the top. And you're like, no, we're actually going down to 3,000. From 16,000. Like, but they have an ETF.
Yeah.
It's going to be
Yeah.
great. And Fidelity says so. And you're like, well, prices trade on margin and on conviction. And so even though fundamentally it can help fuel adoption and onboarding and everything, like, which it can, um, be careful, because you can also, price can still move. But yes, I agree that is bullish in a sense for the whole space. Macro though,
Well, that's
don't
right.
forget, on the macro, no matter what, if you go back and look at, like, sometimes you have to do this on the log, and let's just do that, because let me clear this. This is a macro bull. Like, you're still in macro bull, right? Like, macro since inception, you're still in macro bull. But all I'm saying is, like, you could still have one of these and one of these, right? Or something, right? Like, you're still in macro bull. This hasn't, like, Dow Jones hasn't been in a macro bull for how many 100 years now? Like, it's still macro bull. It's still macro bull. But these pullbacks can be tradable. Like, even when Bitcoin dropped from 20K to 3, it's still in a macro bull environment. But it's just painful and long. And so these pullbacks are painful and long. But it's still macro bullish. So that's it, dude. Let's look at we looked at Glimmer. I hope you guys we're just like talking it out, and hope that
Well, I
helps.
think and bringing Russia into the market. I mean, I forget what the number is, but correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it's in the high 80s or low 90s. All percentage of crypto is traded in the U.S. Like, once China fell off, I mean, it's majority in the U.S. So
that's right. U.S. and Europe.
Bringing in another massive account. Yeah, they're big, but they're not nearly as big as the U.S., right? Well, Europe in general, maybe, but no other single country is even close to the U.S.
Right.
But, we need another big economy to come in. I mean, that will fuel growth, right? Huge. That's what we're looking for.
Russia would be huge. Yeah. I mean, leave it to Russia, right? They're always doing stuff that you're like, I want to be sneaky. Like, I don't like Russia, but then I'm always like, man, they're letting their people do what again?
I don't mind Russia.
He's like, oh, you want free gas? We'll give you free gas. You want, I mean, granted, it's a whole different society, right? But, like, they're like, just seems they just seem a lot more pro people. And I don't want to get into this because we could be here all night, but they just seem to be acting a lot more pro people than a lot of the stuff that I'm seeing here, right? Where it's like, whatever. Yeah. That's all I'm going to say about that.
I hear you.
But I mean, like, exactly, Alex. That's you're exactly right. All that kind of stuff. Those are really good positive signals that at least the market's going to stick around for a while. It's going to be adopted. This is a long-term asset. It is, it does have staying power. You have nation states acknowledging it. You had Biden, I guess, whatever, do some sort of executive action, or he was planning on it, about studying it, because they keep, studying it to see how they can do it. But that to me is a validation of the asset class, right? That to me says people need, government, you need to figure it out. Like, you need to put voting on the blockchain. Like, you need to use blockchain for voting. Like, what? Anyways, another side. We don't have to get
and they also look. It's not like people in the government don't understand this. I mean, the biggest holders of Bitcoin are nations. Correct me if I'm wrong, right? I mean, isn't China like the number one holder of Bitcoin?
Well, I don't know anymore, because the U.S. apparently just seized 120,000. Did you see that news article with
That's right. Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
Oh, that was all over.
But there's
Twitter
a reason
yesterday.
why they're holding it.
Yeah, I mean, they're, they're holding they want to hold all assets, especially like if you and this is big picture, and I know we've run an hour here, but big picture, if you're going to do a currency conversion or transition, like, dude, if I'm a government and I can print as much as I want of numbers on a screen, dollars, to buy Bitcoin, why am I not doing it for all the Bitcoins?
Yeah.
Right? Like, why am I not buying all the Bitcoins off all of exchanges with money I print out of, out of computer and digits on a screen?
That's right.
Why would I not
And
buy
then just go
all
ahead
the
and swap over
cryptos?
the system, and you've got all the Bitcoin.
I've
Yeah.
got all of everything. I've got all the
Right.
glimmers and all the Qdms and all the
Right.
populaces and everything. I own it all. I bought them all from all the exchanges, and now I control everything. If I want to control the digital
Right.
landscape of the future of the world, like I want to control blockchain too. And so, like, even though I may
Yep.
kick off like Pat's rules and regs or whatever to like kick off these, these projects and come at them, but like I'm gonna buy it all. And that's again, I know I'm getting ranty, but like my whole thing about when these guys are saying like it's $37,000 XRP, and I'm like, well, I hope so. That'd be cool, but like, then why doesn't the government go buy all of them right now for 90 cents? Like, I have a problem with that. So I haven't really got into all that. I just realized that's what they're saying, and that's great because like if that works, there's gonna be a ton of people that are gonna be huge winners. But I just trade charts, right? So hey, we can't leave the stream without looking at SHIB once. I gotta take it off log.
Yeah.
Let's look at our boy SHIB, how it's doing. I want to see yeah, so I was looking at this morning, right? So came up about 3,500, and on fib we did break 702. See, we're not through it freely like XRP is, but we're kind of chopping around the 618 702 area. So what would be promising for me is if we can get, I mean, I have an alarm here at 3,500, but we can break this level, whatever, then we can keep seeing SHIB go up. Akita, same thing. It's running with as it does. It's just hanging up here, 116. What else should we look at? Let's look at Doge. I haven't looked at that in a long time. Same pattern. Oh, the dog meme coins, they all look the same. Oh, let's look at KMD. That was one that I looked at the chart and I was like, guys, this one hasn't broken out yet. Look at the RSI strength. And then it popped like 50%. It was really nice.
Wasn't that KDA?
Yeah, not KMD is Komodo, right? KDA.
I think so. Komodo. Oh, jeez.
Remember, is that right? Komodo?
Yeah.
Is that right?
I think it might be.
Dude, I knew a friend of mine was a Komodo Maxi. Like, I'm like, I'll get some, but there was like a sub chain that got rugged and whatever. It was like, man.
I think I had some Komodo too at one point.
Komodo.
Didn't end well. Yeah.
I don't even have it on my watch list because I don't really care, honestly.
Yeah.
But yeah, so this was kind of the signal area. We can go to the 4 hour because we'll see it on RSI. Right here was when we should do a bar replay, but I think it was at 618. I think it was right in here. And it was on the daily too. So this right here, I think it was on Sunday.
Oh.
Yeah, right here, basically, we're 618. So basically it was, seeing this is the chart when we saw it or something close to that. Yeah, 619. Okay, pretend this is the chart. See this break in RSI right here, or it did end up breaking. So it's like, okay, we're getting above there. Now I expect price to kind of get above here, and it hasn't jumped yet. Here's your gem. Here's your gem, guys. And I didn't take any action. I didn't take a position. And then here we are. Pop, pop, pop. Went above $10. Nice. Yep. Kadena it's a big chain and a big project, and I know it has a big following. I've never really got into it much, but yeah, so we're starting to see things get exciting off the bottom. So hopefully it all plays out as we think it will. Claudia's here.
Yeah, really good stuff.
Hey, thanks for joining us. Yeah, it's okay if you're late. Thanks for joining. Really appreciate that. Well, Bravo, I know you need to go. I need to run too. Take care of some things. We'll see how this plays out, but nice to see days like, Smooth Love Potion up 55%. And hopefully we see, continued strength here. But we'll be here for anything. So
until next time.
Until next time. All right, Bravo. We'll see you later, buddy.
See you, buddy. Thank you.
All right. See you guys. Thanks for being with us.